Hello, and welcome to today's message. So today's message actually comes from Second Peter, chapter 1, verses 16 through 21. Of course, this is obviously written by a guy by the name of Simon Peter, who was a disciple of Jesus Christ, and he was there from the beginning. Near this time that he writes Second Peter, he's near the end of his life. He realizes that time's up, and he wanted to share a few things before he left. And one of the things that he wanted to share was, at the time, there was a lot of ridicule. There was a lot of, you guys are making this stuff up. So this is where Simon Peter becomes impactful. He's like, hey, you guys are focusing on these miracles and stuff, and you keep saying, they can't be real. What I'm telling you, I'm telling you from my own personal view, right? You can take it or you can leave it. This is my personal view. These are the things. And if you just want to focus on things that seem impossible, you're not going to get the message. Which, if you think about it today, a lot of people say, how could this guy, Jesus Christ, be this Messiah? How could he do that? How can he do that? And they want to debunk things. Are they truly listening to the teachings, why Jesus came here? So, to prove that point, Simon Peter then goes into talking about how Jesus didn't write this stuff. Jesus wasn't the one who's saying, hey, I'm a miracle worker. You come to my group whenever we're coming into town, we're going to heal you, we're going to make life better. Jesus actually was more concerned with the teachings, being one-on-one with people. To prove my point, when you look at some of the stories of Jesus Christ and the miracles, right, you can see there's some reluctance in it. The water to wine, right? It took a little bit of prodding for Mary to get Jesus to do this. Some of the healings, right? He didn't just say, okay, well, everyone stand back, watch this. I'm going to say a magical word, spit in this guy's face, and he's going to be able to see. He kind of did it like it was an accident, right? Oh, I just brushed against you type thing, right? He did not want to make it a big deal. But what was big was when he had those personal moments, when he shared those stories, those anecdotes. He was making his people, his group that was following him, understand what he was talking about. That one-on-one, woman at the well. So what Simon Peter's telling us is that as a follower of Christ, he rather would talk about the testimony, right? Because that was the most impactful thing for him. That was the truth, was in the testimonies that he had. When you think about how you came to Christ, how you came to the church, it was not a miracle. It might have been, and I don't doubt miracles, don't get me wrong, but most likely it was somebody sharing a story or something happening to you, something impactful. I believe that God and Jesus, they love to speak to us. So let's say that you're someone who's turned in and you're like, you know what, I want to have a closer relationship with God. I want to have a closer relationship with Jesus. I pray that you ask God to open up your heart, open up your mind, open up your ears and your eyes to the small things. Here's what I mean by that. A lot of times when we look at the Old Testament and the New Testament, we look at these grandiose, right? These things that a lot of science and scholars and skeptics will try to debunk. How could the Red Sea split? How could a bush turn on a fire? How could this happen, right? They were searching for answers for these grandiose stories. But when you read the Bible, you hear these little words like, and he talked to God. Well, what did he talk about, right? A lot of times when people were sharing their testimonies and their stories, sometimes they didn't share the personal ones, the ones that meant the most to them. For example, when you open up Christmas gifts and stuff like that, if you get a care package from like your relatives and you happen to have grandma's favorite candy, right? Something that she makes special for you, you tend not to want to share that stuff. Sometimes it's like a little bit of bartering, right? I will give you 3 turtles for 1 piece of Christmas fudge, right? You got to have that bothering going on just for you to share that. Those are the most impactful. Those are the ones that speak the most to people, are those personal stories. Getting closer to God, having that personal relationship. So I think that Simon Peter, if he was here today and we were to ask him, what's the one thing that you want the people that follow Christ to do? I believe he would say, share your testimony. All right, welcome people in. All right, open up your ears to hear those stories. All right. So I'm going to end today's message with another thing that happened. A while back, I had somebody ask me, you've been around the world, because I'm military brat and stuff. If there's any place in the world you could live, right? Home's where your heart is. Where would you want to live? I was reluctant to answer this question, and here's why I was reluctant to answer that question. Granted, there are some places in this world I would love to be, right? I would love to spend some time on a private island in the Caribbeans, right? Beautiful sun, nice waves, right? Not that bad. Of course, you got a hurricane every once in a while, but nothing that bad. I would love to live in London or near Rome, Italy, right? Both places have these wonderful libraries and museums. And if you know anything about me, I love that stuff, right? I love to get immersed in stories, to hear, to read. But truly where my heart is are with people who live what Christ wanted them to live like, right? People who give hope and joy to those that need it. People that will love without expecting it back, right? People that gives you peace when you need it. That is where I truly feel at home. So my home is not a place. My home is not a building. It's a community built around love, hope, joy, and peace. Following the teachings of Jesus Christ. Some of the best people that I know may not consider themselves Christian. They don't go to my church. Some of them haven't been in church for a while. But they live the example. And I would love to call them my brothers and sisters. In fact, some of them I do call. You're in my friends and family discount plan. That's what we would say, right? Have that community. Build that community. That's another thing that I think Simon Peter would agree with. So, as I leave you today, may you find that close connection with God. May you find the ways to say and share your testimonies with those so we can build a better world filled with love, hope, joy, and peace. God loves you. So do I. Until next time, thank you.